This week on Sports Break, we'll visit with two all-state swimmers from the Fergus Falls Otters, Dan Seyfried and Darrin Hylden. And it's time for Kevin Pearson to head south. But first, some unfinished business to tend to. It's all next on Sports Break.
Is this what you see when you think of shopping for a new car? Well, try Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls, where they don't lead you on with exaggerated discounts or gimmicks. What they do offer is superior service after the sale and a 71-year tradition of honest dealing. You'll be proud to own a used car or a new Chevy, Buick, Cadillac, or Geo from Minnesota Motor. It's that simple.
Minnesota Motors. Hey Herbie, over 600 species of wildlife call wetlands home. Fur bears, waterfowl, songbirds, and other non-game species all depend on wetlands.
Remember, Tim, wetlands also store water for flood control, cleanse our drinking water, and our natural water filtering systems for our rivers and lakes. Tim and I joined up to win a World Series championship in 1987. You too can join a winning team. Contact the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to restore wetlands on your property at no cost. Call the number shown on your screen. Thank you.
Get the power! Get the power!
In color. In color.
Get the power!
The affordable Canon CJ10. The power of color is yours.
Get the power!
In color.
See the Canon CJ10 at Best Business Systems in Fergus Falls.
Well, it was a record-setting year for the Fergus Falls Otter boys swimming team, and we have some of the record setters with us right here. Coach Phil Link is on my right. We'll be talking to Phil here in a few minutes, but right now we want to meet a couple of the Otter swimmers who were all-staters in their events, and one, Dan Seyfried, to my immediate left, is also All-American consideration in his two events. Darrin Hylden is the second Otter who is here. He is an all-stater in the breaststroke. Dan, let's start with you. That All-America consideration, something that has never happened before to a Fergus Falls swimmer. Was that even in your thoughts heading into this season or into the state meet?
Well, I didn't know what the time was. I hadn't even thought about it, really. I'd seen some other people from the other years get it, but I had no idea what the time was, and I didn't expect it or anything, so.
Darrin, how about your all-state situation there? Did you feel going in that your time was going to put you up there for all-state qualification?
Well, you never know. In both of the events I was in, there's really tough competition, and tenths of seconds can mean the difference between first or last. So I just kind of went in and see what I could do. And last year I made it, and they changed it to top 8, and it had been like top 5 or 6 or something like that. So I was kind of hoping for it this year, but I wasn't expecting it.
How tough is it to be involved in the number of events that you guys were involved in at state, as far as the wear and tear and physical exhaustion and mental exhaustion that you have to feel, especially the second day? You were both in 2 relay events. Did it take its toll?
Well, it does after a while, but you have to remember the first day means nothing. You go in the first day and you swim your race and you get in for the second, but it doesn't count for anything. It's the second day that counts. So if you're not ready to go the second day, you might as well not have gone to the meet.
Is there a different mental frame of mind compared to relay events as compared to the individual events?
Well, yeah, I think so. For me personally, I like to get up more mentally for the relay events because they score higher and it's a team event, and working with a team or for a team, it's for me a lot easier to get mentally psyched up for. And
you got a few teammates out there with you, and it makes it a little more impressive, I think, when you have the number of swimmers there that we had there. Was that a surprise to you guys at all that the Otters were represented in 10 events, or was it pretty much what you thought this team was capable of?
Well, we had a good team from the start. We knew we would do well at regions, and so we went down there, and we were kind of expecting to do as well as we had, but you know, hit or miss at regions. So they only take the first two to state. So if you don't do it at regions, you know, you don't even make the trip, much less compete. So we were kind of expecting to do well, but you know, you never know. So.
Was the section a disappointment for you as far as not winning it as a team, or didn't it really matter knowing what your goals were at state?
Well, I think it was disappointing a lot for me personally as a senior and not winning that last year. It's kind of especially hard losing to Midgey. They're kind of a rival of ours, but we trained to perform well at the state level, and we did. We performed extremely well down there, and a lot of people just look at the region and say, you know, well, you didn't perform very well there, because teams in the past that they've shot for regions and that's what they aimed towards, because state was out of the question usually, or if it was, you know, they'd go down there and it wasn't a big concern. But now I think with the team we had and the teams we will have, I think state is going to be our primary focus.
Well, they found him laughing, they caught him running, he was down his knees, he was under the table, getting excited, feeling excited, the temperature's rising, fever is rising, oh yeah, ready to go, oh yeah, already gone,
Tell me the truth now. Are you guys actually glad that you're having a little time off here, and was it worth it? Did you ever think during the middle of the year that, what am I doing with all these practices?
Oh yeah, you're glad to be done with it. The first day you get in there and you can't believe that you've been doing that, you know, for the last couple of years, because it just kills you the first couple of days and the first couple of weeks. But after a while you kind of get into it, and I don't know, you forget what you're doing, I guess. You just don't realize it, and you just keep doing it. So, but you have to do it, and everybody else does it. So, or well, the other good teams do it, the best teams. So we try to think of ourselves as one of the better teams, and if we're going to do that, then we're going to have to put the time in the water too.
Darrin, did you ever shake your head and say, what is Coach Link doing with all these yards that he's making us swim?
Yeah. Yeah, a couple times, but I really have never questioned his coaching or his coaching ability much. He's always got us there, and he's always prepared us. And you know, a couple times I've thought, is this going to be too much? Are we overtraining? Is this, you know, should we be doing this? But you know, to his credit, we've always fired down there, and swimming is a lot of coaching, and it's not seen as much. The coaching isn't seen, you know, as much as in baseball or football, the coach on the sidelines. But you know, when we perform down at regions and state, it's not just us, it's a reflection of what Coach Link has done for us.
This team was a little different in that we were pretty strong from bottom to top as far as being able to handle distance, probably more so than any team I've coached here. And I never really saw it so much. There was a couple days I saw it, I thought they were a little too tired. They swam a little too much, and maybe I was pushing them a little bit too hard, and we backed it off just a little bit, but we just changed the type of workouts versus the yardage. Sometimes, you know, yardage, how much you're doing isn't really a reflection of how hard you're working in there. And because you do 6,500 yards in one practice, we can set up a practice of 2,100 yards. It's just as tough. So you just have to be careful in that sense so you don't hurt them and they're sore. When you expect things out of people that can achieve at a high level, then you have to train them at that high level, and these two can achieve a very high level in swimming. And in order to do that, I don't want to cheat them by not only giving them enough credit, but to not get them exposed for colleges and other places. But as far as being in the pool, I have to push them to it as far as I think they can go, because I want them to achieve that, and I'm sure they want to. But that's not taking anything away from the rest of the team either. These two I expect a lot out of. They've done it for me. I've had Darrin since 7th grade and Daniel since 7th, and they've always stood up and been the leaders in the pool. They show by example. Both pretty quiet when it comes to the deck. They're not big in the rah-rah cheering. I think that was the most I ever saw Daniel cheering was at section because we were down. But as far as Darrin and Daniel both, they don't do a lot of cheering. They just work hard. Most of them all do that. And you'll see a lot of teams that come down there and make a lot of noise and do a lot of cheers and stuff, and we don't do that, and they show by example. And these two have led since they've been in the water.
Darrin, you're a senior. Are you going to try to swim at the collegiate level or not?
Well, I think so. Me and Coach Link sometime this month. We haven't worked it out, but we're looking at a school in the Fort Lauderdale area that he knows about, and he's been in contact more than I really have with. And I'd like to swim for them if something works out, or other college prospects. But I'd like to, but there isn't really there's no professional big-time swimming, so school's the main focus. In college, that's what it's for. But if swimming can help me, or if I get a lot of enjoyment out of it at that level, I'd like to.
I'm sure hearing stories from Dad on some of the old days in the water, but how did that affect you in your performance?
Well, it's got a lot to do with it, I guess. Watching my older brothers and older brother and sister and watching the teams they've swam with and how well they've done, and you just want to be as good as they were. And my dad I've heard a lot of stories from him, and he's done very well. He swam in the Olympic trials a couple times and everything, so I'd like to do that, and maybe I could say I did the same thing that he did, but if not, it's something to shoot for anyway. So.
Well, you've already let out one of your goals right there as far as hopefully someday swimming in the Olympic trials. And after going down to state this year, finishing 3rd in the IM, how about next year in the water as far as a high school swimmer? Is a state championship within your reach?
Oh, I'd really like to think so, but they were in the IM. Both of the guys that beat me were seniors, and one of the guys in the backstroke that beat me were seniors. But you never know where people are going to go, and I have no idea what events I'll swim next year either. So I'm going to go down there and I'm going to shoot for one. I'd like to bring one home, but you never know.
If you could swim in one event, you could only swim one race in a meet in one event, what would it be?
Well, I guess the IM and the back are probably my favorite events, because the IM you get a little of everything, but I guess I'm probably partial to the backstroke. I've always liked that one. I started doing that one quite a few years ago, and that was my dad's event too. So I guess he's given me some pointers there, and I just kind of stuck with that one. That's probably my favorite event.
Well, guys, congratulations on a great season, and we thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Fergus Tire wants to serve you. No job is too big or too small, and they have quality Goodyear tires to match most any vehicle. For their best Goodyear prices, check out the weekly special and take advantage quick. Even if your vehicle doesn't have a need for new Goodyears, Fergus Tire can supply you with Goodyear certified auto service. Make your appointment today for service for your vehicle from the ground up from Fergus Tire, 222 Cavour Avenue in downtown Fergus Falls.
Friendly hometown service and superfood values. That's the combination you'll find when you shop at Service Food Super Value downtown Fergus Falls. For fresh fruits and vegetables, shop the Service Food Produce Department. Their selection is terrific and their quality is exceptional. For all your fresh, frozen, and pre-packaged meats, choose from a fine assortment in their meat department. And take a look at the fresh cuts in the Service Food meat cases. Beautiful cuts of choice meats just the way you like them. Your family deserves the best. The best in grocery values and service from Service Food Super Value downtown Fergus Falls.
Is this what you see when you think of shopping for a new car? Well, try Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls, where they don't lead you on with exaggerated discounts or gimmicks. What they do offer is superior service after the sale and a 71-year tradition of honest dealing. You'll be proud to own a used car or a new Chevy, Buick, Cadillac, or Geo from Minnesota Motor. It's that
Simple.
Minnesota Motors.
All right, Kevin, you're going to be taking off for Florida Friday, right? Going down for the second time around. Are you a little more comfortable as you depart this time than you were last June?
I think I do. I feel a little more comfortable. I haven't been swinging the bat probably as much as I should have been, but I'll get a lot of cuts in this week. And just going down and knowing what to expect this time, I do feel a lot more comfortable.
And, of course, you will be working out this week with Phil Link, right?
Yes. His baseball players set up the cage in the senior high gym, and they told me that they'd be in there in the morning and after the boys basketball team gets done with practice, and I'm sure he'll be walking around there a little bit too. So with those guys, I'll be getting my cuts in. So.
Are you excited to get back at baseball now? You certainly got your fill of it last summer and last fall, but are you refreshed now and ready to go at it again?
I think so. You get a little break in there and kind of get the itch to go back and try it again to see if you can improve, and if you have improved. And it's time to go back, and I'm looking forward to it.
How has basketball helped you prepare for baseball? Do you feel like you're in better shape right now than at the end of last baseball season?
I think so. I mean, you don't run up and down the court that many times and not be in good shape, and I think it was good because otherwise it would have been tough to stay in shape. I'm sure I would have done things, but it's a lot easier and a lot more fun to do it that way, and just to hang out with the guys and have that experience was good for me.
What's going to happen to you in Florida this year? Do you have any idea where you're going to be playing ball this summer? Will you be at the same spot, the same level as last year, or is it just too early to know really what your assignment is going to be?
It's probably too early, but the idea would be that I'd be in the same place. What will happen now is I'll go down for spring training. We'll work out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then when Class A, AA, and AAA leave to go to their seasons, I'll probably stay around for what's called the extended spring, and that lasts until June, when the draftees come in like I did last year, and they come in at the beginning of June, and then we have another week and a half there, 2 weeks of another spring training, and from there I would either stay in Fort Myers and play the rookie ball there again, or possibly move up to Elizabeth, and depending on how I did in the extended spring. So right now it's too early to tell, and we just have to wait. But it does look like I'll be in the same spot at the beginning. So.
That's good. That's what we want to do, Craig. Go inside out. That's what we want right there.
from the groupies.
You girls baseball fans?
Yep. Yeah.
Or just Kevin Pearson fans? Oh.
Probably not the latter.
No, I don't know. Did you see Kevin play for the Otters last year in baseball?
Yep.
There you go.
Thanks.
I imagine it would be nice to get Shaq in here for a little autograph session, but Kevin's not bad for a second choice.
Well, we want Kevin first, and then
Okay.
Shaq after that.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good place to start, I
Yeah.
think. What are the hours of the card shop right now, and will you be changing once summer gets here?
Yeah, right now it's Monday, Tuesday. We're closed Wednesday and Friday, and the Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday we're open 4 to 6. Saturday from 11 to 4, and Sunday 1 to 4. And we'll be changing summer hours. There'll be big hours, and we'll be probably open every day in the summer.
Okay, so you're going to be putting in a lot of hours this summer.
You bet, and I'm looking forward to it too.
You going to some shows at all?
Oh yeah, I'll be going to some shows. Hopefully get some new good stuff in, hot stuff. And hopefully upper deck baseball.
Yeah. People are all asking me already, is Kevin going to play ball next year for the Spartans? And I'm sure there are some questions that have to be answered there as far as what you can do to fulfill the credit obligation you'd have to get back in school, right?
Yeah, it all depends on if I go to the instruction league again. I went last year, and it's a thing where if you have a good season, you're invited back. And it's a privilege to be asked, and if that opportunity comes up, I'll definitely go. And then I run into a problem with credits, and I'd have to take some independent study. Right now I have 18 credits, and if I don't go to fall quarter, I'd have to have 28 by the beginning of winter quarter to be eligible to play. And so that means I need 10 more credits of independent study. And right now, Coach Retzlaff is working with the people out at the college to see what options are open for me. But if I don't go to the instruction league, there's no problem. I come back and enroll in the fall quarter and play ball in the winter. So it all depends on the instruction league. But right now it looks one way or the other. I'll be wearing a Spartan blue and gold again next year. So
this is a great way to introduce the people to the shop too, to have Kevin in here.
Oh, it's tremendous, and it's just great having Kevin here, not only for the people that come in, but just to have him here. It's just a very enjoyable young man.
What's it been like for the Spartans to have a player of Kevin's his magnitude on the court, of course, but also his notoriety off the court in this area? I don't think there's a more well-known player than Kevin Pearson, who could have worn that blue and gold this year.
No, I think you even just look back over the years, there wouldn't be anyone that was more recognizable, in terms of name or accomplishments than Kevin. And it's just been, a real joy to have him with us. It's not only from his accomplishments on the court, but he's just such a great young man to have. Mixes in so easily. He came in a little late, of course, and because of that, some of the guys on the team were wondering just, what kind of a personality he would have and so forth, but they commented almost immediately that he just fit in so well, and they've really become a close unit this year, and he's made a lot of great friends, I'm sure.
Let's talk about a function like this, like you're doing today. You've been learning to sign your name for quite a while now. As far as a celebrity goes, have you changed your signature at all, Kevin, since you've become a celebrity?
I don't know. It probably hasn't changed a lot. It probably gets a little sloppy towards the end. After a few autographs, you kind of get lazy, and I apologize if you can't read the name or anything. But, it's fun. It's fun to see the people come down here and the little kids with smiles on their face. That's what makes the day, and it's just you see that, and it makes it all worthwhile, and it's just very enjoyable.
Can we talk to you?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your name?
Merrily.
Merrily, what's your last name?
Wold.
And you're from Fergus?
Yep.
So have you seen Kevin play baseball before?
Yep.
For the Otters?
Yep.
How about basketball? Did you get out to see him play basketball?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many cards are you getting signed?
8.
Do you have a baseball card collection?
No.
Just a Kevin Pearson collection?
Yep.
Okay, are you involved in sports too?
Not really.
What do you like to do?
Volleyball.
Well, there's a sport for you. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for talking to us.
Yep.
There are a lot of major league players or former major league players who go around and do this for a lot of money, and I guess it's justified to some extent. You're giving them something that they can't get from anybody else, and obviously as professionals they probably deserve that money. But I've been to a couple of those, and it's so impersonal. It just is not, you don't get to know the person at all. They don't even talk to you. They don't even look at you hardly. But I've noticed here, you take time to say a few words with the kids and look at them. It's a big thing for them.
Yeah, it's, I mean, that's what it's all about. Just to see them come down and get excited about somebody who has happened to be doing well. And I mean, it just makes you feel good that there are people out there that are cheering for you and wishing you the best of luck. And it wouldn't do me any good just to sit in the chair and sign it and push them away. And I mean, it's not fun for them, and it wouldn't be fun for me. And it just makes it more enjoyable for everybody if you have a little conversation with everybody and just smile at them a little bit and converse, and it's just a lot more fun.
I'll clear this up now. Why did they put Blue Jays on the back of your card? Drafted by Blue Jays. There's an error already. Your first card you've ever had produced.
I don't know what happened there. Just one of those things. They screwed up and can't do anything about it. And people keep saying that if my career goes well, it'll be worth more money. I don't know if that. I'm sure that won't be true, but it's just one of those things that happened. We called them up to see if we could change it, but they had printed so many that they couldn't do anything about it. So just have to live with it, and hopefully people know who I'm playing for. So
now it doesn't say Twins on the card on the jersey. That picture, I've seen the picture. There is a Twins logo on there, and the same with the hat. But this is obviously not through an agreement with Major League Baseball.
The front row company did not. They don't work with the major leagues, and so for that reason they can't have the major league team insignia on the card at all. So that's why it was edited out, or I don't know how you put that, but it's not on there. So that's why it's not on there. They're just not affiliated with the major leagues, and they don't want to get into trouble, so they just take it off.
Have you been approached by other card companies? Can we be looking for more Kevin Pearson cards?
I'm not sure. You have to talk to Mr. Link. I guess they talked to him more than they talked to me. He had mentioned the Topps company. I think it was Topps. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was, that they had called him and said a card was coming out, but I haven't seen it, and I haven't talked to him anymore about it, so we'll just have to wait and see if it comes out or not.
Well, do they have to go through a contract agreement with you on that?
When in the first week I was down in Fort Myers, when I first reported, a guy came up and I signed a contract, and they it said that if they ever use my picture, they'll get in contact with me and write me a little check, and I think they gave me $5 just to sign it. I mean, I still got it at home. I don't need the $5. It's kind of nice to have the Topps company give you a check, so I kept that for show my grandkids, I guess.
There you go. Tell me about the picture on the back of the card. Now, we've all seen the front and the back. I guess we don't see too often, but you look pretty small on that picture.
I look very scrawny, as a matter of fact. I was playing Babe Ruth baseball for the Denton Fergus team, and that was in Fergus, Minnesota. Can't remember how old I was, probably 13, 14, and I'm not real big right now, and I was really small back then, so I still had the glasses, hadn't got the contacts yet, so I still had the big professor glasses on, and but people in Fergus should be happy that I got a little exposure on my cards. So.
Why did you choose that one for the back?
Actually, because it was probably the only, they asked for a younger picture of you, and I think that was the only one. My aunt had taken that when she came to visit, and we sent that in, and that was, I think, the only reason was that was the only one we had, so we didn't have much choice.
Phil, since basketball ended, Kevin has been able to concentrate a little more on getting ready for spring training here, and of course we'll be heading to Florida this week. Where do you see him needing to make the most strides here in the early parts of the spring?
Well, he's definitely got to hit the ball better than he did down there last year. However, he hit it, for a rookie going in there, I think he was 211 he batted. That isn't so bad when you think of Strawberry, and some of those guys hit $1.50 or 189, 190 for 3 years before they moved up. So I don't know if that's so much as they're looking at the hitting averages more as they're hitting the ball. As most he's ever struck out, I know, for a season, and he needs to make more contact. Some of the things we worked on here today, where he went outside with his pitch and tried to take it to right, he needs to do that in a game situation in spring training. He needs to keep his hands back, and when he strides with the ball, still keep them back and rely on his hands' quickness his quickness to get to the ball. I think Kevin down there felt that he wasn't quick enough to get to the ball, and he's as good as anybody down there, period. I've talked with the Twins organization, and they tell me a little bit more than what they'll tell him. And they agree that his hands are plenty quick enough, and he's just not showing a lot of confidence down there. But he's a kid from Fergus Falls going down to Florida, and he's a little nervous, and he's in there with kids from big cities and from other countries, and these kids have seen a lot of baseball, and he probably underestimated his talent, but he has plenty. And I think he just needs to go down there this year with a lot of confidence, and when he's striding through the ball, keep his hands back and have enough faith in his hand speed. He has plenty good hand speed. That's why he's where he's at.
How important is year number 2 in a development program like this?
Well, they gauge it, try to gauge it from 1 to 3, and hopefully in the second year he moves up out of where he's at right now. Even if it's just a step up, little step up would be fantastic. They want to see progress also. So they give you your first 2 years to try to get adjusted and start making something happen, and then they get pretty serious about what you're doing. And he needs to be very serious about that. And I think that's one of the things he'll focus on a lot more this year, because he's not coming in June, he's coming in March. And that is a huge difference. He walked in right into the middle of a season, and they couldn't really expect too much. But now they'll want to see some progress. When he starts in March, by May, see something happening in there. And I think he'll do that. He's showing a lot more confidence. I have all the confidence in the world in him. I've had 4 kids that play in the pros right now that I've had at Kankakee, Illinois, and he's every bit as good as those kids.
Affordable Canon CJ10. The power of color is yours.
See the Canon CJ10 at Best Business Systems in Fergus Falls.
Fergus Tire wants to serve you. No job is too big or too small, and they have quality Goodyear tires to match most any vehicle. For their best Goodyear prices, check out the weekly special and take advantage quick. Even if your vehicle doesn't have a need for new Goodyears, Fergus Tire can supply you with Goodyear Certified Auto Service. Make your appointment today for service for your vehicle from the ground up from Fergus Tire, 222 Cavour Avenue in downtown Fergus Falls.
Friendly hometown service and superfood values. That's the combination you'll find when you shop at Service Food Super Value downtown Fergus Falls. For fresh fruits and vegetables, shop the Service Food Produce Department. Their selection is terrific and their quality is exceptional. For all your fresh, frozen, and pre-packaged meats, choose from a fine assortment in their meat department. And take a look at the fresh cuts in the Service Food meat cases. Beautiful cuts of choice meats just the way you like them. Your family deserves the best in grocery values and service from Service Food Super Value downtown Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Ken Herbeck. Back in 1885, western Minnesota contained over 7 million acres of wetlands. Today, only 1.5 million acres remain. This loss equals an area 100 times the size of the Twin Cities. Wetlands are vital to our health and quality of our lakes, rivers, and streams. For information on no-cost wetland restoration on your property, call the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service on the telephone number shown on your screen. Thank you.
Why'd you want to keep the little locks on the front there, Darrin?
Well, I'm not really sure what went into that. I just kind of saved it, and that kind of left, and well, I don't know. Selena Sanchez thinks it's pretty darn cute too.
Do you see what he did? I mean, he tore the cover off the ball. Pretty impressive. I'm going to take this one home. By the mustache.
You betcha. Eating me McDonald's stuff here.
Yes.
Is it?
How old are you?
14.
Soon to be 15.
Yes, that's right.
And you get your permit, I suppose.
Who knows when I get that? It depends if my dad lets me or not.
I think he will. I think he's sick of driving you around.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah.
You bet.
It's your birthday.
birthday, you can eat as much candy as you want.
My birthday present from Retz, some Kenny's Candy Licorice. Left over from the state tournament media room, hospitality room.
Or give me a call, you know.